Hey, everybody. So, Candace Owens is just further and further spiraling, as well as Ian, you know, the dude that she always has on her show. I don't understand how far they think they can get with this. We keep asking them for proof, and instead of actual proof, they give us, well, what seems to be either fabricated or just, you know, they don't want to really give out the proof at all to show that this stuff exists. They're like, oh, here's some words on a blank screen. This is unbelievable how bad they're spiraling. So, this is the text that they have apparently released. Candace Owens is not lying. These are texts from someone at TPUSA. Source, Ian. So we go to here, where he has it. Candace Owens is not lying about TPUSA. I have proof right here. I know having this info and sharing it comes with a potential price, but the truth matters more than anything else. Your move, TPUSA. Before I play the video and go into these words that they have supposedly released here, with no context and no actual source, just he's the source, I'm going to show you guys something. First and foremost, Candace Owens was a liberal, okay? Before any of this. Before she was famous, she made a doxing website for kids. To dox kids that were bullies, quote unquote. It was called Social Autopsy. Okay, she's always been pretty much a grifting liberal. It was after the backlash from that, just months later, she started her YouTube channel called Red Pill Black, where she was red-pilled and super Trump supporting. Very strange. Everyone called it out at the time, but the majority of the people just didn't know about this. Now, I want to get to how she was, because in my last video, people didn't pay attention to this at all. How often Candace Owens will contradict herself in the same sentence. It's ridiculous. Look at what she did with Steven Crowder, okay? This is what she did about the whole Daily Wire dispute with it.
And by the way, like I said, we know it's at least standard, so it's not because they're trying to hit Steven Crowder. They've given this to all of us. And your job then, if you're a big boy, right, if you can put on your big boy pants, is to go to your lawyer and to say, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that, this makes no sense, negotiate. Now, if you are...
So, she accused him of not negotiating at all and running out there and saying the Daily Wire has really messed up contracts. And she goes, it was just a template. All he had to do was negotiate. That's all she had. That's all he had to do was just negotiate. Okay. So this is the weird thing, because in the very next thing she says here, okay. Let's see where it's, let's see. Here we go. Right here, just literally a minute later.
Launch his own network because, and by the way, I gotta say this is the most important part of this, and nobody is talking about this. He receives the term sheet, okay, and he thinks it's so egregious that he's got to make this video 4 months later, right? I don't know what happened in those 4 months after they started negotiating. I guess Steven Crowder...
Wait, they started negotiating. Hold on. Let's let her finish though, right?
Woke up, new year, new me. I hate the Daily Wire, so I'm gonna go after them. He thinks it's so egregious. The first thing he does is counteroffer and say, let's start talking about 140 million. Okay.
Wait, you said he didn't negotiate. And in the same sentence here, not even hardly a minute apart, he negotiated. Now get this. So apparently he had a counteroffer, right? And the term sheet was just a term sheet you're supposed to negotiate.
So if it was so outrageous, why did he go back to them and say, no, actually, we can have this conversation, but let's start talking about 140 million, right? It was only when the Daily Wire then turned that down that the term sheet became so egregious that he had to do...
Hold on. They turned it down. The Daily Wire turned it down. What was the Daily Wire's counteroffer? Oh, the buck stopped with them. So let me get this straight. The term sheet was negotiable. So Crowder negotiates. And the Daily Wire says no. What was their offer then? The only offer Daily Wire gave to Steven Crowder was the term sheet. That was it. When he tried to negotiate, they said no. But she said, literally, about getting your big boy pants on, you know, like...
Then, if you're a big boy, right, if you can put on your big boy pants, is to go to your lawyer and to say, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that, this makes no sense, negotiate. Now...
Huh. Wow, it's amazing how that happens. It's amazing, isn't it? She contradicts herself constantly. She contradicted herself in the last video, too. I highly recommend you watch it. I just uploaded it like 12 hours ago. Go watch it. It's in my, subscribe, all that good stuff. Go to my profile, go to videos. It's literally the video before. Actually, you know what? I'll just show you guys it just so you know which one it is. Because I make the same, it's right here. Candace Owens crash out, okay? Just letting you know. Now let's go into this and see all the evidence that he has.
Bet you didn't see this.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Same thing. No. Okay. You're not going to read it out loud? Oh, you're going to have me do it. Okay. Okay, so he's not going to read it out loud. Okay. I'll do it for him. So what I know is when it comes to actual Turning Point USA staff, up to even director level, a lot of people are on the same page. People want the truth. The problem is the board and the typical successful investors and business mentors out to the team. For instance, if you had an investor, advisor, early on in the official Patriot gear and your company thought there was something suspicious about them, it's hard to get answers because they aren't part of the day-to-day. Yeah, I said that right. So that's the bad news. It's hard to get a lot of answers. The good news, however, is with a lot of TPUSA staff being on the same page as people like you and Candace and Ian, people at the top of the company are able to give Candace some of those internal memos she's been talking about and hearing about these conversations that have been going on. What about Brandon Tatum? I guess they don't mention him. That's weird that they only mention Candace and Ian. Yeah, that's so strange. Okay. There's memos she's been seeing that have only gone out to a few director level type of people, so it shows the actual staff, even high ups, want the answers too. Okay. Okay. I don't want to hear your music, guy. Okay. So what is this? Who sent this? Bet you didn't see this. That's what he says. Okay, let's get to this part, I guess. Time will tell more. No one knows who the high up person in the company is. That's been the source for everything Candace is getting. I think so no one knows? No one knows who the high up in TPUSA is? Which company? What are you talking about? I'm genuinely confused here. So, are they talking about Patriot Gear specifically? I'm confused. Because Charlie would have known, right? So Charlie wouldn't be sending these messages. Who's sending these messages? The source for getting everything Candace is getting. I think it's the best way, though. But more people are coming out and being more open about wanting to know WTF is actually going on. I already made internal pushes to drop the Israel BS weeks ago, so hearing what Candace is saying today is actually insane. Okay.
Yeah, so Candace ain't lying, guys. I know it for a fact. And so listen, to everybody who is falling into this trap of, attacking anybody and everybody that's asking questions about this and calling them...
Asking questions is fine. Here's a fact. Everything Candace is saying technically could be true, right? It could be. But it's about as accurate as saying I predict a purple platypus is going to, get elected into parliament. Sure, you could say something like that. And sure, it could happen. But it's not like anybody had inside knowledge of it. They guessed. You know what I mean? And that's what Candace seems to be doing. Then they put this out, and I don't even understand it. That's the funny thing about it. Because here's the thing. There's no info! Candace is not lying about TPUSA. I prove right here. I know having this info, sharing it comes with a potential price, but the truth matters more than anything else. Who is in the texts? Who?
Conspiracy theorists, which is really funny because it's coming from people who are typically conspiracy theorists, typically people that ask all the questions.
Well, you're not giving us anything.
But if you are doing that, right? Why? Why are you doing that?
Because I don't have anything to work on.
These narratives they're spinning out, that they're putting out, don't make any sense.
But making new ones up does not help. It doesn't matter if they make sense or not. You have to make sense in order to say that something is going on specifically. That's the problem. You guys have sat here and said that Israel is behind this without any actual evidence.
They don't make any sense at all. And we all know that there is, we don't know who killed him, why.
Okay, that's not true. You don't think it makes sense who ended him. Okay? We don't actually know for sure. But we do know supposedly who did it. At least two people we know. One of them is most likely the one. Okay? And we don't necessarily know for a fact that the kid on the roof wasn't the one who did it. Everything makes a lot more sense. This isn't like JFK, okay? Where it was like, wow, the bullet that got JFK went through like 19 different layers of flesh, going through the back of his head, all the way down out to his chest, through his hand, down into his knee, and then down into his foot, and then also into other parts of the vehicle. It's just this magic bullet that bounced around everywhere and made several holes. That's not at all what we're seeing in this case. We hear one singular shot. There are multiple reports of the JFK files where they've heard several shots. Look at what happened in Las Vegas, where you hear multiple shots coming out from multiple different directions, and it's supposedly out of this garbage hotel window that hardly has access to where it was going with a bump stock. That's some questionable stuff there. But this just doesn't happen to be one of those cases. It's not exactly a whole entire case of nothing makes sense. There's nuance of things that are like, hey, that 30-06, that 308 caliber shouldn't have, it should have pretty much taken his whole head off, you know? But it depends on what was also in the round. If it was a really low gain round, if it was something explainable that's there, it automatically fits. We don't know all of the details yet. But you guys have jumped to so many conclusions and so many different conspiracy theories with absolutely zero basis behind it that nobody can take you guys serious at all. You have to provide some level of proof. You have to have something more than just a text message that's cropped. I don't know who that was sent to. I don't know who the sender was. I don't know anything about these messages, and they don't make any sense outside of the context that you won't give us.
It was done, or how it was done. None of us really know. Like, if you're actually believing what these people are telling us, you're cooked, okay?
Then why should we believe you? Give us a reason.
Okay? Because none of this makes sense. I mean, they're literally telling us to look at the wall that is purple and say, and we say it's purple, and they say, no, look closer, it's yellow. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Dude, we don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, so if you're one of those people, why do you not want to get to the bottom of it?
We do.
How do we
But you guys are not
Charlie's death and legacy?
I can tell you how. Don't make false claims. Don't make claims without any kind of proof behind it. That's the best way to respect Charlie Kirk.
Then figuring out who the hell killed him and why and how. And the fact that stuff like this is out, and stuff like what Candace is saying is out, and stuff like what Ian Carroll and all these other people that are digging into this and figuring out what's going on. Because, by the way, this is a real source, okay? This is a real text message.
A real text message from who? From who? To who? From where? Specifically, what does this text even reveal? It doesn't mean anything. At all. It's wild. Honestly, bro, I could just text you, but I'm willing to lose my job. But from what we believe, and I think a few people already told Candace, I think she mentioned it on her episode yesterday, is that one or maybe two people who sit in our board of directors was directly financially benefiting from any Israeli donations that were coming in. They are obviously people who were close to Charlie. And as you can imagine, he was the busiest dude ever, so he couldn't be there for absolutely every donor meeting and all that, which is where he would trust his board of directors. Okay, but here's the problem. I don't know who this person is at all. And they're speaking for other people in this text. Which board of director did this? Which one? Who? And how do you corroborate this? I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm saying there is absolutely nothing here from nobody. Who is this person? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, and as you can imagine, he was the busiest. Yeah, okay. So anyway, I think Candace actually knows exactly which board member it is. Really? Does she? And she's not willing to share that info? This person says, we personally are not sure who. So it is a theory. They don't in this text message. They even mentioned that they don't even know. They don't even know if it happened or not. From doing a little financial digging, we believe, hashtag believe all women, hashtag believe all people who accuse Donald Trump, right? Hashtag believe, okay, let's go. Someone on the board has a pay structure that's based directly on the amount of donations coming in. Okay, that means nothing to me. And that's why even with Charlie starting to go against this narrative recently, they somehow were still able to get in the room with him and try to sway him into not asking any more questions. Okay, let's say that did happen. Did he stop asking questions or not? It's all bizarre. This is all just major speculation with nothing backing it.
You know, believe it if you want. Like, I don't care. It's real.
What's real? What's real? What specifically about this is real? The fact that they said we personally aren't sure who? Like, what are you even talking about? It doesn't make sense, buddy. I don't know who this guy is, but he's not making a lot of sense whatsoever. Okay, he's just absolutely not. Okay, let's hear what else he has to say.
There is absolutely something going on in that organization. There was something going on prior to
I'm sure there is something going on.
Absolutely something going on right now.
Okay, something's going on.
They do not want us to know.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe they don't want us to know. I know a lot of businesses out there that don't want anybody to know a lot of the private stuff going on inside them. Doesn't mean it's nefarious, doesn't mean it's evil. But good God, dude, at least have some conviction to be able to put some freaking evidence out there that actually has a backing to it. That actually lets us know what's actually going on. The person in that message literally said, Candace Owens probably knows who the real person is, and she won't even say? Are you kidding me?
And how do we best honor Charlie? We fight to figure out what the hell it is they don't want us to know.
Is that true?
I hope that helps.
It doesn't. It genuinely doesn't. It doesn't at all. It doesn't help anything. So, anyway, this guy's name is Ian. I thought he was the Ian on the show, so I was wrong. I thought he was Ian, what's his name? Ian Carroll, yeah. But I was wrong. That's the Ian Carroll show. Anyway, it just doesn't make much sense at all. So you go through any of this stuff and try to read anything like Candace Owens is not lying, and this person's like, I failed at life, so I have to blame the Jews or whatever, you know. I get it. This person's saying, hot take, Turning Point should be dissolved. No American should give another dime to it. So calling to defund them completely over what? So this guy here makes a great point. I have a source that Iran tells me you are in on a conspiracy to spread false information. So this guy says Ian fabricated the DMs and was paid to do so by Iran in a bid to divide the political right as retribution for Trump taking the IMEMS snacks and Diet Coke. I don't know what IMEMS mean. And then Drogo was paid to repost it so as to spread the message. Guy, come on. If you're going to make a fake message, come on. Check your spelling, right? I mean, it'll give it a lot more oomph to it if you don't misspell stuff and give it credibility. So, signed, unnamed source. But the point still is relevant. Dude made this up. And he's like, look, I got it from Iran directly, unnamed source. The whole point is that we have zero sources behind this, and they're putting it out there. They're like, I'm going to put this information out there, not knowing it for sure who it came from. Not going to say who it came from or anything. It's unbelievable. You have the quartering here. Candace Owens' investigative journalism method. Make wild claim, provide zero evidence, and instead challenge someone else to disprove it. If ignored, claim victory. If disproven, claim the evidence is fake. Rinse, repeat, cash check. That's exactly correct. He also was the one who shared this too, said these are not text messages from someone at TPUSA. These are random ravings. These are the random ravings of an insane person. The person posting them did zero background check and provided zero evidence they are affiliated with TPUSA at all. Please, people, I'm begging you, at least do the bare minimum. This is a simple request. And then here's this guy again. This very guy who I debunked earlier is like, you just choose what to believe. What the F does that even mean, dude? What is up with people on the right going believe? Hashtag believe. Unbelievable, you know? An attempt to insult the intelligence of anyone who thinks differently. feels so inauthentic, it makes me wonder who's paying or blackmailing you to have such a stupid take on this. So I said, no, you just choose to believe. Back the claim. And of course, he's ignoring me this time. But last time, he literally was like, you know, after Netanyahu released the letter, right? And he said, but I was reliably told that Israel ended Charlie Kirk. And he says, find a clip of someone actually saying that. So then I found the actual clip of Candace saying it. Wait, where is it? Oh, okay. I said Candace Owens. You cannot find a clip of her saying it. And I said 10-minute mark. Next time, do a little bit of research. And then he tried to say it too. Well, she didn't directly say it. And I was like, oh, right. And Hassan Piker and Destiny didn't directly threaten people either. Okay. That makes sense. You know, it's unbelievable. I said, you know, I was like, notice how you have to walk back all your BS. And then the dude's like, I would never call for violence, but I'm still investigating the truth of this. Having to, you know, be like, well, I'm at least looking into the truth. That's fine. I understand. Again, Candace Owens, Ian Carroll, they could be right. The issue I have with them is they don't put any evidence out there. No reliable sources whatsoever. And 90% of the stuff they are making up. They're saying, well, because they're acting funny, Netanyahu's being weird, this is suspicious, therefore they must be behind it. It's literally just speculation that they are trying to manifest into reality. Even if they were dead on right, it would be a lucky guess at best. Not that they actually had inside information. Because if they actually had inside information, they would have posted it by now. That's what I have such a big irritation with from these people. It's absolutely insane. And look at her right here. Israel takes one last stab at Charlie Kirk's legacy, and I'm about to shut it down entirely. We identify the mysterious people who traced Charlie's killer's footsteps, and what we discover is terrifying. All clickbait. Because she doesn't discover anything. It's genuinely disturbing to watch Candace grift so hard on Charlie Kirk. But it makes me realize, look at how hard she defended the Daily Wire. And look at what the Daily Wire did to her after she was warned. She will defend and turn against anybody so long as they are giving her money. That's a dead-on fact. It's not speculation. She signed up with the Daily Wire, and because they were paying her good money, she lied on Timcast multiple times, contradicted herself. She went after Steven Crowder's divorce and started trying to, cover that until it was just too unpopular where people were like, look, this is weird. Why are you digging into his personal life? Oh, we know why. Because your whole social autopsy thing, that never left. You don't like people, and you have a tendency to go after their personal information that has been with you since the dawn of time of your personality. Mainstream personality, whatever you want to call it. Her as a public figure has always gone off on people's personal information. That's the real Candace Owens. She started it with social autopsy. She showed it multiple times on multiple different people, including Steven Crowder, trying to get their personal info. Going up, asking, old comedians that worked with Steven Crowder to try and get them to be incredibly biased, getting other people involved in his divorce. It's disgusting. It's absolutely sickening. That's who Candace Owens is. And for people who are not paying attention, who are blindly following Candace Owens, who know nothing about her past, as a liberal who doxed children. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, guys. Join my Discord down in the link below. Unlike, any of these people at all, I make zero money off it doing this. Zero money off of doing this, guys. I haven't made a dime, okay? I used to a couple years ago. I got, YouTube sponsor. I got a sponsor a long time ago. That was neat. Maybe I'll get sponsors again, but I'm going to go through you guys, as to what's good and stuff, if that happens. You know what I mean? So I have nothing to benefit. Though some people seem to think I'm getting paid by Israel now. I had one comment on the last Candace Owens video going, I wonder how much Israel's paying this dude. Are you freaking kidding me? That'd be insane, right? If Israel had enough money to pay me at all for any of this stuff, guys, I wouldn't have a green screen behind me. I'd have a studio. Like, not that this isn't a studio, but this is literally a tiny little office that doesn't even have a door to my bedroom. Not even kidding. I just have a green screen behind me, okay? That's it. It's unbelievable. So, I'm not getting paid by anybody, and I am more than happy to prove that. Anyway, guys, this has all been hilarious, but thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys here in the next one. Later.